Hello, my name is Riley Pettitt. I will be doing my presentation on feminism in religious works in Italy of the Baroque period. Apologies for the delay. My girlfriend had a syncopal episode last week, so I was caring after her. Denied myself a lot of sleep and stuff, which led me to get a gnarly head cold, hence the really raspy voice and the congestion. So bear with me if there's any coughing or anything like that, and thank you for your patience. The Lord has struck him down by the hand of a woman. A biblical quote that was given a second meaning by the remarkable Artemisia Gentileschi. While scripture presents a woman overcoming a ruthless warlord, Gentileschi parallels Judith in her own fight against patriarchal art values, as was the patriarchy itself. We will start by discussing how people of the times viewed the story behind the painting. Historically, Judith had been considered to be of similar alignment to Mother Mary, widely respected for her piety and admired for her strength. The story of Judith innately becomes a perfect template for presentations of female strength. This ideal vessel for women's empowerment was used by men for years as yet another way to present women from a perspective of daintiness or impractical beauty. Knowingly or unknowingly, male artists of the time allowed their predisposed views of women to allow Judith's story to be overshadowed. It is important to note that in her presentation of Judith, Gentileschi took every opportunity to present women how she believed they ought to be portrayed. I like to look at Gentileschi's approach in contrast to Raphael's. Only 100 years prior, Raphael discussed his process of using the best features of many muses to create a painting of a singular woman that was what he believed to be the ideal female form. Gentileschi countered this notion in a letter where she explained that she used a variety of models to present a variety of subjects in her paintings. Her presentation of all sorts of women showed that she cared far more about accurate representation than buying into social norms or artistic values that would idealize women into unobtainable standards. As for the painting itself, this moving work was placed in the gallery of statues and paintings of the Uffizi, circa 1620, standing tribute to the talented artist in a display of the moment where Holofernes was slain by the determination of the pious Judith. For religious and atheist individuals alike, the imagery is both powerful and striking. A wicked man writhing in his bed in shock and pain, pinned down as his head is pulled back by his hair, and a blade severs his neck. Artemisia was unfazed as she painted the reality of the scene, with blood spewing as Judith stands proud. This is yet another area of work where Artemisia chooses reality over idealization. She doesn't paint a scene that has no blood and no struggle and no strength it would take to do this act, but rather painting reality rather than an idealized version. The period of Gentileschi's life that she made this work in was quite unique. After spending 7 years in Florence, Gentileschi returned to Rome where she was able to study Caravaggio's works. These studies led her to paint the work we see today, though notable differences exist between Caravaggio's work and Gentileschi's. The presentation of Judith in a light of quote-unquote virility caused many negative reactions upon its arrival in Florence, and the painting was subsequently denied the honor of being exhibited at the gallery. Believe it or not, extracting the payment was only made possible with the help of her friend Galileo Galilei. Though still arduous and with significant delay, the payment that had been agreed upon with Grand Duke Cosimo II de' Medici was given. The Grand Duke died shortly after in 1621, not long after the painting had been completed. As stated, this painting allowed Gentileschi to parallel her struggle for her own representation, while also correcting the tale of Judith to its original meaning. Gentileschi chose to be an artist in a time where artists were predominantly male and showed heroism in her pursuits, much like the pious pursuits of Judith in her beheading of Holofernes. She painted what was real rather than what was romanticized, and through this concept she shows that female empowerment isn't an idealized concept or some glorified fantasy, but rather a reality that was neglected by male artists of the time.